Hello, friends. Wait, I can still hear the music. How do I make it stop? Hold on. Okay, it's gone. It's fine. We're good. We're good. There we go. There we go. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and welcome to the show. So, this is the Roald Dahl movie marathon. I can't remember what week we're in. Maybe it's 4, maybe it's 5. I don't know, but here we are all together. And today we are talking about James and the Giant Peach. This is pretty darn exciting because, you know, I love Disney, and it's extra special for me when these movie marathons can like cycle back into being a Disney production, as this one is. Granted, last week's The BFG was also a Disney production, and that was terrible. So there you go. At the very least, this movie was convenient to watch because it was on Disney Plus. So that made me very happy. So yes, today we are talking about giant peaches and kids named James. You know, I like peaches, one of the better stone fruits in my opinion, and my middle name is James. So this story has always had a soft spot for me. So let's see who we have in the chat with us today. We have my cat Eliza. Hello, Eliza. Always a pleasure. Many meows. My other cat Sabrina. Good evening to you as well. Yes, meow to you. We have Mandy Adams. Yes, James did have mean ants. I can't wait to talk about that. And we have Jolly Holiday with Mary. You know what? Let's just bring her in. Why not? Mary's here, everybody. Hi, Mary. You brought a pumpkin, but I'm going to say it's a peach.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
Happy fall, everyone.
Happy fall indeed. Thank you for joining us, Mary. So, Mary, please tell me quickly, favorite bug and favorite fruit.
Okay, favorite fruit. I'm really into grapes right now.
Good choice.
They've just been really perfect. Favorite bug. Wow. I'm gonna go with a praying mantis because they're so cute.
Praying mantises remind me of that meme where it says it's funny that take out can mean murder, dating, or I can't remember something else. It's like if you're a praying mantis, it's all of them. So fantastic. Love that. Well, I'm excited to hear your thoughts on the movie. Oh, it's going to be so good. We're going to bring in our next guest for tonight. It's Alex T-Ty, everybody, star of Wednesday the Musical in St. Catharines, Ontario. Alex, thank you for joining us. Hold on, I'm going to do this. There we go. Hello. Yes.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. How are you today on this fine evening?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good. You know, I'm fed, so I'm not too hungry. So that's nice.
Good. Fantastic. Happy for you. So yeah, same question. I need to know your favorite bug and your favorite fruit.
Well, if I have to pick a favorite, I was going to pick praying mantis because
you still can.
Cool. All right, praying mantis as well. They're just cool to look at. And it's cool how they kill each other and stuff. And favorite what?
Fruit.
Fruits are yummy.
There you go. Oh, there she is.
Favorite fruit? I'll pick a dragon fruit. Why not? Actually, you know what? Scratch that. I'll pick a pomegranate.
Okay. How Grecian of you. Very good. Very nice. Oh, and Mark Andrada is in the chat. Mark Andrada has heard great things about your work in Wednesday the Musical, Alex.
I mean, as the star of that production, I am flattered. You know, it truly is a one-man show. There are 5 incidental female characters, but really, it's mostly a one-man show.
Yeah.
Only about 5% of the stage time is taken up by me, but it's a show stealing 5%. So
yes, absolutely, and you do a stand-up job, if I do say so myself. Let's bring on our next guest for this evening. It's Tinker Jeanette, everybody. Hi, Jay.
Hello.
I don't know why I said hi, Jay, but hello. Yes. So same question, please. It's favorite fruit, favorite insect.
So I'm a little boring, I guess. Strawberries are my favorite fruit. And I don't know about a favorite bug. I'll tell you the one that creeps me out a lot.
Cockroach?
No, well, that one, yeah, but I figure that's a kind of an everybody thing. There's a thing called a lumber grasshopper, or timber grasshopper, one of those two. They're enormous and they're orange and black and they make a really scary noise. And I saw them at Animal Kingdom one time and now I have nightmares about them. So.
Were they like on display or just hanging out?
No, like on display.
Oh, okay.
Thinking about them literally is giving me like goosebumps. It's gross.
Ugh, no, just imagine if they escaped. That's the thing with Animal Kingdom. You don't know if like the animals running wild or just wildlife or part of the exhibit. So yeah, good times. Let's see. Bob Hunt is here. Hello.
Hey,
hello.
Bob.
as well as Yoda for Mark. Exciting. Oh, Martha. There we go. Blueberries and Ladybugs.
Aw, both
That
so
sounds
pretty.
like an adorable children's band. I love that. All right, and we have one final guest for this evening. I'm so honored to have this guest here. I believe he's a colleague of the cast of James and the Giant Peach, all the way from the Animated Actors Union. It's Jeff, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Please don't tell a union that I'm appearing on a program. I didn't buy a permit for this, so.
No, it's okay. They'll never know, Jeff. They'll never know. It's fine.
So
it's
sorry.
fine.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for joining us. So, same question. First off, I'm curious to know, what is your favorite bug and what is your favorite fruit?
Okay, so my favorite fruit, I'll say, is a nectarine. Very close to a peach, just less fuzzy. I don't like the fuzzy part. I don't like to eat the fuzzy part on my mouth. It doesn't feel nice. And my favorite bug, it's a tie. I've got two favorite bugs. I hope that's all right.
Oh, of course.
Number one, I think, is a Picasso bug. I do love a Picasso bug. Here's a Picasso bug.
I was going to say, I must know what
Oh,
Picasso
That
bug.
is
It's like
beautiful.
It's from the stink bug family. I think.
I was gonna
Nice.
say the shape
Yeah.
is similar.
Yeah. And tied is the cuckoo wasp. I like
That sounds frightening.
cuckoo wasp.
Oh, he's
Isn't that
pretty.
beautiful?
Yeah, he's
Beautiful.
pretty.
Won't sting you. Won't sting you. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
Cuckoo wasp.
That's you like. Is that one of those wasps that can make figs? Because then you get like both your answers in one.
Make figs.
Yeah,
That's how figs are made.
Figs are melted wasps. That's how
Yeah.
figs are made.
Figs that
What?
crawl inside and die.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. The figs crawl into the fruit.
Alex has a correction to our joyful tale.
Technically,
that he would
not
like to make.
every fig requires a wasp to die inside of it for it to become a fig. There are figs that are cultivated in areas where there are no fig wasps, as they are called.
And I bet you those figs taste like poo.
Exactly. We only want melted wasp in our
Can't
figs.
comment on that.
I'm sorry to burst the bubble for you, Jeff.
I don't like anything of what you just said.
No.
I think I just ruined figs for everybody.
Not
Sorry.
even
Yeah.
that some of them don't require the dead wasps. What about those figs? They're okay, right?
But those ones taste like poo. So I don't. My options are poo flavors or dead wasps that have morphed into a fruit. I don't like any of this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have nightmares.
You know what
Oh.
doesn't take a dead wasp to make is a peach.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Segue. Love it. Oh, Mandy Adams, Ladybugs and Cherries. You know, fun fact, this was,
So cute.
according to my quick Wikipedia research, or as I like to say on the channel, labor-intensive Wikipedia research, this was almost James and the Giant Cherry. And then
Oh.
Roald Dahl decided that peaches were fuzzier and cuter or something. So he went with peaches. So now we all know. So I'm excited to talk about this movie. The question that I always like to open with is, did this movie have any role in your childhood, or did you see it when it first came out? And if so, tell us that tale. Then we're going to circle back and talk about how does it hold up now. I get to go first because I'm the one talking right now. This was one of the first books / stories that helped me discover Roald Dahl and all that like wickedly morbid humor that he has. So I read the book almost the exact same time as the film came out. I think I was in grade 4, and we read the book in class, and then I watched the movie independently, and that kind of that was one of the properties that like jump-started my fascination with book to movie adaptations. Even as a youngster, I was this pretentious, and I just found it fascinating just to see what the differences were. And I've always loved this story. And in fact, shortly after that, in my local bookstore, I found like the play script for James and the Giant Peach, and I bought it with the intention of putting on the play in my backyard. And then I lost all my friends because I kept on trying to force them to act for me instead of socialize with me. So there we go. I tried to produce James and the Giant Peach in my backyard as like a 10-year-old as a play. And so I've always enjoyed this story thoroughly. Mary, your turn.
Man, I wish I knew you as a 10-year-old. Why didn't I live in Canada? Jeez. Man. So I don't really remember if I've read the book, but I do distinctly remember when the movie came out, my cousins always had it on their TV, and my grandmother loved it. She was like babysitting all 5 of us or whatever. And James and the Giant Peach was always on the TV, and I was just kind of bored with it as a kid. But as an adult, I'm like, this is amazing. It's so good. So I don't know why I didn't really care for it. I was just
I'm glad you came
smart, I
around.
guess.
Perhaps
Yeah.
it's an acquired taste. Unlike peaches, because everyone likes peaches upon the first taste. I knew
agree.
Alex would disagree.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love peaches. BT
Oh, okay,
does.
good.
I just don't necessarily. I'm not so bold to make the claim that everybody would like peaches on the first taste.
Fair enough, Alex.
Don't worry. Don't get too lofty there, Matt.
Yeah, that's
Alex will keep you in check.
I know. So, Alex, your turn. Same question. Any nostalgic value for you with this film? Had you seen it as a child? What was that like?
Yeah, no, I did see it. I don't recall the exact year or anything like that. So it was a '96 film. Is that when it came out?
Around there, probably.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would have been 5 at that time. So I don't think I was that young when I first saw it. But no, yeah, when I saw it as a young boy, and I think I saw it multiple times, and yeah, there were like the images and such didn't really stick with me. However, when I rewatched the movie recently, a lot of the like images that stuck with me for a while as a child came back, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this and that, and I remember this really kind of, again, just sticking with me when I was growing up. So like so many images, the rhino, the like little things like James, he pulls the floorboard to uncover his like crayons and stuff, and he colors on that he makes like a makeshift hot air balloon with a piece of paper, and all kinds of things like that just like, some things like the rhino, oh yeah, that was scary, but then there are other things that don't necessarily, aren't obvious to everybody why they would stand out, but they did to me, and so yeah, rewatching it was like, oh yeah, it made me nostalgic in that way. But yeah.
Nice. No, I had a similar experience. It was less about visuals, and I just found myself remembering lines of dialogue where I would just start quoting the movie with it, even though I haven't seen it in like probably over 20 years. Good times. Jeanette, your turn.
Yeah, I went and saw this in theaters. I might have seen it more than once. I'm pretty sure I saw it more than once. And I remember going to see it. Like, I remember it vividly, and I remember going to see it with a friend. And I'm pretty sure I told this story last week, but I'll tell it again. It was the same week that the same day that I learned how to ride a bike with no training wheels after I saw this movie. So that's a memory that's eternally attached to this movie. And it was one of the first movies where I watched it as a kid and cried happy tears at the end, like just like so happy. And I never wanted it to end. Like, I'd only ever really had that. And this is not, I know it's called The Never-Ending Story, but that's the only other movie I had ever watched and been like, please don't let this end. I don't want it to go away. And so that was how James and the Giant Peach was for me. I wanted it to just keep going. And it was kind of a movie that I always hoped there would be a sequel to, but it's a book. So like, you don't do that, I guess. But like, I really wanted there to be another one. I think I was emotionally attached to it too, because it resembled Nightmare Before Christmas so much in the animation. And I was already obsessed with that. So yeah.
I'm sure if it came out today, there'd be plenty of sequels that we don't need.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad there isn't now, looking back on it, and we'll talk about that holding up. But yeah, I'm very emotionally attached to this. It had been a little while, though, but so I was happy to watch it. But I have definitely watched it over the years, yeah.
No, it's, yeah. So good. So, Jeff, do you recall the first time that you saw this movie?
Yes, I did. I was just coming out of university, and so I guess I'm a little bit older than everybody here.
You haven't aged today, though.
I'm cartoon, Yeah. You know what they say, cartoon don't age. That's the old adage. It's the adage. Yeah.
True.
I was a big fan of Nightmare Before Christmas, and I was excited because I knew this was kind of the follow-up to that. This is my memory of it anyway. Obviously, 1994, that was like, what, 40 years ago? So just a quick math says 40 years ago?
Yeah.
So I mean... And I remember going to go see it in the theaters because I went to go see it alone because none of my friends wanted to go see it with me because all of my friends at the time didn't like Nightmare Before Christmas. Everybody went to go see it, and 2 of the people that I went to go see it with fell asleep during Nightmare Before Christmas. And to this very day, whenever I see them, I bring that up, and they tell me what a garbage movie Nightmare Before Christmas is. And I say, I don't know how we were ever friends. I don't understand it. So when I went to go see, right? And so I went to go see James and the Giant Peach. I couldn't find anybody. It was my fault. I sold it like, it's the follow-up to Nightmare Before Christmas. And everybody went, No, thanks. I don't want that. So I went to go see it by myself, and I saw it in the movie theaters twice.
Wow.
Yeah, when
nice.
it first came out. Yeah. Oh, and just a side note, The Neverending Story. Jeanette, have you read the book?
I have, and I
Okay.
also did not want that to end either. So.
But what's nice about the book is if you saw the movie first, in the book, at the end of the movie, it's like, and Bastian went to Fantasia and many other adventures, but that's another story. In the book, turn the page, and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so the book is so good. The book is so much
I
better.
don't think I read James and the Giant Peach though. I
Oh.
need to do that. So.
Oh, it's
I haven't read a
very
lot of it.
different.
I have very strong feelings about. Yeah, this is really the only. I don't mean to like derail the conversation, but I feel like this is
Derail it. Go.
to me, this movie is the best movie, like book to movie adaptation, because most of the time when you read a book and then you watch the movie, it's like, the book was better, right? The book is almost always better, which is why I always tell people to watch the movie first, because then you're. But James and the Giant Peach is the only one where I say read the book first, because the movie is so much better than the book, because the movie has direction. Like, the book just kind of happens, like things just happen to James, whereas in the movie he's dreaming of New York from the beginning. It's set up from the very beginning. It's like something he did with his parents, dreamed of New York. So it gave it this trajectory that the book doesn't have.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah, no, I haven't read the book in a very, very long time, but I just did a quick Wikipedia read, and like, yeah, the book to me just sounds like it's extremely episodic. It's just a collection of adventures on a giant floating peach, and they don't even plan to go to New York. They're just going wherever, and then New York is the place where they end up, and that is what that is. But like, I love how the movie just creates that through line with the destination for James. That's like, I don't know, like a safe place for him, because it's like the one remaining thing with his that he has from his parents. And I just also love the through line of having Sponge and Spiker following him all the way to New York, which I just think seems so obvious and so brilliant. And there are so many things I think that the movie does exceptionally well in terms of being an adaptation, which I think segues well into the next question, which was how do we feel like it holds up now? Which I've already kind of started my answer, but there it is. I just feel like watching this as an adult, and this is the first time I've rewatched it as an adult, I'm just so taken by what a well-crafted film it is. Like, narratively, as Jeff pointed out, I think it's brilliant for all the reasons that Jeff said, just giving it a direction and giving it a trajectory. I love the hybrid of live action as well as stop motion, and I think that just works with what the story is brilliantly. The casting is amazing, and I love Miriam Margolyes, and just seeing her in all of her evil glory is always a treat and a pleasure.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that really stood out to me is how surreal they went with the film, and it felt to me like it was just a full examination of childhood trauma, almost in the best way. Like with the rhino, as a kid I never understood why the rhino was a bunch of clouds that were flying, because in the book it's very obvious that it was a one-time rhino. It was a physical rhino that killed the parents, and that was it. And I was like, why is the rhino a cloud monster now? But now, just like revisiting it as an adult, it's just like he's just constantly haunted by the thing that took away his parents, and then just constantly seeing Sponge and Spiker appear in all the places that they go, even though I don't think they're realistically there. I shouldn't try to find realism in this film, but I do. I just love that cool, surreal element to it. And I think it culminates so beautifully with his like big speech in New York where he says, like, I have a dream and that's what brought people to New York City. So what's the difference? I'm like, this is so good. I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Mary, how's it hold up for you?
Yeah, no, it's excellent. It's great for kids and adults. And yeah, I don't know. It's like perfect. It might be the perfect movie of all time, really. I appreciate it too. I think Sponge started the body appreciation movement with, she is just really gung-ho, like her dainty toes and her shapely nose, and it doesn't matter how much her tummy shows, even though her sister's being mean and saying that it does. She's just like, I'm beautiful, even though I'm a bit overweight.
Oh yeah,
she started a revolution. Yeah.
Miriam Margolyes for the win. Adore her. Adore her. Jeanette, how about you? How does it hold up for you now?
I think it holds up great. Nola watched maybe about a third or half of it with me, and she enjoyed it. So I think that it held up as far as like a younger generation watching it. The animation held up. I didn't never once during that movie was I like, oh, this looks, aged in some respect. It just like everything fit, even the backgrounds with the stop motion animation over it, which I felt like in this one you could tell there were some superimposed backgrounds that weren't practical, which I don't think happened with Nightmare Before Christmas. When you were watching that, all of the they were sets, like they were all there. But like the ocean in this one, you had water and all of that, and that was not there necessarily. It wasn't, they didn't have water behind it. So I thought that was cool. That was kind of like a step forward. And I thought everything held up really well. On the note of the rhino, I unintentionally I brought up Neverending Story already, but then I realized how much it looks like The Nothing, and I'm like, oh yeah, this looks just like The Nothing from Neverending Story. So it's unintentional right now, but I did think that when I was watching it.
Fun. Alex, how about you?
Yeah, I thought overall it's a good movie. Yeah, all the usual points. Good, has some adult content in the sense of content that's enjoyable, for adults, and like the writing. Yeah, everything works pretty well. I will say that there are a few aspects of the story that are like, there's certainly a few things that aren't like very well explained. So it's not like a world building movie, but that's not what it's trying to do. It's just trying to tell at least as far as I'm concerned anyway, it's just trying to tell James's story, as opposed to really immersing you in the laws and lore of, the magical crocodile tongues and, but anyway, just a couple things that are just kind of like, oh, well, they don't really make sense if you think about them too hard. Or like, grasshoppers that live for like multiple decades and stuff like that. But anyway, but yeah, no, I thought it's a good film. It's perfectly enjoyable. Yeah. And especially the writing is something that I really enjoyed all the way, like from the beginning with Ant, Sponge and Spiker. I thought their dialogue is perfectly witty and hilarious. How dare you disagree with us? Those kind of jokes I think are perfectly clever. And then, all the bugs, all the different comments that the various bugs with their personalities, what they make, and especially the worm character, the earthworm.
I have two half brothers.
Half brothers, yeah, we all be dead.
I had to pause the movie and laugh. Yeah. I had to replay it. It was so good. It was so hilarious. Oh my gosh, I loved it. Yeah. Jeff, you kind of touched on it, but anything else you want to say about how it holds up for you now, 20-ish years later?
Yeah, I mean, it holds up really well to me. And again, like everything is just an improvement. The older I get, the more I watch it and I find more things that I like about it. Like just little things, little nuances that you might not pick up as a kid, or you don't have those experiences yet. Like there's kind of like a Wizard of Oz thing to it, right? Where like at the beginning it's not black and white, but it's live action, and it's these beautiful sets. I love the fact that they did them all on these like very clear set. Like even the outdoor scenes it's very clearly a set. And then he goes in and it becomes that stop motion, kind of like Dorothy, like landing in Oz. And I didn't even think of that all these years until I just rewatched it for this. And I was like, oh, it's kind of Wizard of Ozzy. It's really, yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff. It's one of those things that like, I really feel like the more you watch it, the more, this is, I think, an annual watch for me now. Like the more I watch it, the more I'm like, oh, it's, and I'm going to keep bringing back Neverending Story because Jeanette brought it up, but like Neverending Story is the same. Like I'll rewatch that movie like once a year, once every couple of years. I'll reread the book once every few years. It's great.
Yeah. I need to rewatch Neverending Story now.
All right, well, do an episode on that. I'm down.
I know. We got to figure out where that fits.
Well, there's enough movies to do a marathon for that. I just feel like they get progressively worse.
Oh, they're bad. Yeah.
Oh,
They're bad.
yeah. No, that's like Grease. I don't watch the sequels.
What? Cool Rider?
Grease?
We
Grease 2
Grease 2
is
is
phenomenally
we
bad.
we've had this discussion before. That's you can't. Why?
Michelle
You can't.
Pfeiffer, we love her. She needs a Cool Rider. It's the
Yeah.
best song.
Anyway,
Yeah. So yeah. Okay, yeah. So James and the Giant Peach. Anyway, well, yeah. I guess music. We kind of talked about Grease too. Let's talk about the music in this movie. What's everybody's favorite song?
The one the chefy one.
Eating
when
the
he's singing
Peach.
about when
Yes.
they're cooking the peach. That was my favorite. I remember that being my favorite when I was a kid, and then when I rewatched it, I was like, oh yeah, this is my favorite one.
Yeah.
I think mine is That's the Life for Me. I like that one. That's the life. That's the life. There's something about it. Yeah. I don't know what I can't put my finger on what it is. Maybe somebody else can, but there's something about that song that reminds me of Little Orphan Annie.
Aww.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
it's esque of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a child singing aspirationally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the want song.
Oh, you need an I Want song. I have a whole video about that if anyone wants to watch anyway. Mary, Alex, what are your favorite songs in this movie?
I mean,
I'm gonna
that's
go
the life.
with,
Yeah, go ahead, Mary.
Sorry. I think the song that gets stuck in my head the most is the My Name is James song, but it's such a random song. But it's so sweet also. Like I remember just singing that randomly in my younger years just because it's a great song. But That's the Life, I think, is the one that kind of goes throughout the whole movie. I feel like the whole movie I was just going like, because there was some song that just kept playing through it even if they weren't singing. I want to say it was that one. It's just so, I don't know, upbeat and like carefree kind of song. It's great. Randy Newman.
Classic.
Yeah.
Did you see what Yoda from Mark said?
Yeah. Newman didn't sing till the end.
Classic Newman.
See, that's the best way to use Randy Newman. Have other people sing his music and then just have him over the credits. Or over the beginning credits if it's Meet the Parents. But, yeah.
Poor Randy Newman.
Yeah. I mean,
Poor Randy Newman. He's doing great. We don't have to feel bad for
Yeah.
Randy Newman.
that's true.
He's doing fine.
He's just fine.
That's the life for him. Although I want to give a special shout out to the We're Family song. It's not my favorite, but I think it's just so sweet. And it comes at a perfect point in the movie. And I just think that's the heart of the movie is encapsulated in that song. All the Bugs and James coming together, loving each other as family. I also love the Earthworm just coming in with his part where he's like, we'd be dead. It's like, where'd we be without each other? We'd be dead. I just, Earthworm. He's probably my favorite character.
I wish Spiker and Sponge had a song.
Yes.
That would have been great. I was thinking that on this rewatch. I don't think I ever really thought of that before. I'm like, man, that'd be really great. If they had a little villain song, you know?
If I have a complaint about this movie is that there's not enough songs. There's only is there five or six songs in this thing?
There's not say there's like 4 or 5.
There's My Name is James. There's That's the Life. There's the peach eating song.
Mm-hmm.
We're Family.
Mm-hmm.
It might just be 4.
There's Randy Newman at the end.
That doesn't count. But sure.
Aww.
Could have used more songs.
Could have used more songs. No, and I think Sponge and Spiker's song could have gone right at the beginning when she's talking about I look and feel I do declare as lovely as a rose. Look at my da-da-da-da. Look at my dainty toes. Because as I recall, that's just a small snippet of a very lengthy poem that both of them have a part of in the book. And in that play adaptation that I tried to force my friends to be in when I was 10, it's a full thing that could very easily lend itself to music. And I get the vibe. I didn't check this, but I definitely feel like this is one of those movies where they used Roald Dahl's lyrics and just set it to music. Especially, probably just the Peach song. To me, those lyrics feel very Roald Dahl-y, and I personally love that. Yeah. Oh,
not to ruin the vibe, but I think I probably stand alone. Bye, Jeanette. I stand.
You offended her.
Well, if Jeanette's gone, I'm gone.
No.
Oh no, I'm gonna be replaced by a slowly spinning peach.
Okay.
That's it. I'm out
Alex,
of here.
you made Jeff go
very
peach.
berry peach doesn't look like either.
That might
Very
be
fuzzy one.
that might be a nectarine.
Oh, I mean, I feel like there are also non-fuzzy peaches too. I feel like you could breed a non-fuzzy peach.
Well, no, but then it becomes a nectarine.
I mean, I don't know if that's like technically true from like.
Pretty sure it is. It's as technically true as the wasps melting into the figs.
I don't know if that's technically true.
I think Jeanette, we have a rotating peach now.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this is a family show. God.
Did anyone else have that thought when the peach was growing on the tree of the emoji and meme culture? Oh my gosh.
No, I didn't. But
Well, and I
that's
love
just
that he was gonna have it be a cherry. I mean, what's his next choice? A banana? I mean,
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus.
yeah.
Like,
No. Eggplant.
eggplant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
don't. Okay.
A delicious eggplant.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Jeanette's got thoughts about the eggplant. I want to hear.
I'm
I want to hear
gonna
about your
stop
thoughts on the
this.
eggplant emoji.
Is that the
I was
sequel,
gonna
James and
say,
the Giant
I don't
Eggplant?
think they had eggplant emojis back when Roald Dahl was around.
That's true. The peach ones, they had those, but the eggplant.
Yeah, that's true. Well done.
Those
Well said.
weren't-
Well said. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Things they never thought they'd ever have to worry about. Emojis.
So I'm curious now. I would like to know, aside from James, and maybe he's not even your favorite character, but who was everyone's favorite or standout character on this rewatch specifically? Because for me, as I mentioned, it was Earthworm. I always took for granted how hilarious he was, and knowing now that he's played by Professor Lupin from Harry Potter, love him even more.
Oh,
Yeah, it's David. I can't pronounce his last name. Thuwillis.
His last name's Lupin. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
sorry,
No, I'm
David
joking.
Lupin. David Lupin. So yeah, Earthworm is definitely a standout for me. Jeanette, who's your favorite character on this rewatch?
I feel like I feel the same as I did when I was a kid. It's like a serious hard tie between Spider and Centipede. It's very hard for me to separate them. So
I want them to get married.
Yeah.
The end
I
when
think
there was
it's-
like that little spark.
Yeah, I think it's probably Centipede. I usually like the Timon-esque character in most equations. That's usually my favorite. So that's kind of where I put him.
Good choice. I enjoyed his hat. He was wearing my hat, so that always makes me happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, who's your favorite character out of the bugs?
I'm giggling at Yoda for Mark's comment about Roald Dahl's books that he wrote for adults. If you've read any of those, they're great. He writes a bunch of like short fiction, like books of short stories for adults. They're wild. Highly recommend.
I love his adult books. I think I had Skin. That was the one that was the
Mary, are you
collection I had.
shocked? Mary looked shocked.
I'm shocked.
Mary, do you
They're
not
no
know?
clue.
Do you not know about
They're
adult Roald Dahl books?
No.
So Skin
No, I did not.
in the short story collection, the story Skin, if I recall correctly, is about a guy who has a tattoo by a world-renowned famous artist, and then like an art collector, if memory serves, plots to kill him so he can skin him and have the art piece. Then there's
Very
another
Clive
one
Barker,
called
goodness.
there's another one called Lamb for the Slaughter, where this woman decides she wants to kill her husband, so she uses a frozen leg of lamb, and then she has a dinner party and feeds it to her friends, so there's no evidence because the murder weapon's gone.
I thought she fed it to the cops. Did she not feed it to the cops who
Oh,
came
maybe
to
she feeds it to
investigate?
the cops.
So the cops are investigating and they're eating
Yeah.
the lamb, the murder weapon. Yeah, if that's my memory of it anyway. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, like he was so twisted.
it's dark stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
So
he
good.
kills Spiker and Sponge like straight away in the book.
Oh yeah, they get killed by the peach.
Yeah, they don't get like they don't
Oh,
survive
he
that
rolls over 'em?
squashing.
Yeah, there's no car. It's
Yeah,
just
there's-
squash.
They just get squashed. Yeah.
Oh,
Which I think
wow.
I like that. I like that. I like the dark choice of killing them, but I like the movie better. Again, I like the movie better because they keep them alive and they make them the villains that chase the whole time.
Yeah. No,
Whole
and I think
time,
it
but you know what I
works. I like it because I think it's a choice that makes it work better for a film. In the
Mhm.
context of a book, I could see it potentially working a little bit better, but it's comparable to.
The
I don't know
gore.
why it's making me think of Fantastic Mr. Fox, about how the
Oh.
simplicity just of the ending to Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think, in the book is superior to what the movie did. Just because Fantastic Mr. Fox just ends with the farmers waiting by the hole for the fox to emerge, and then they don't realize that he's like tunneled his way into still eating their crops behind their back. I'm like, that's such a simple but good ending to the book. And I don't think it translated well to the movie. But in this case, I think Spiker and Sponge's thing worked well for the book and worked even better in the movie. I adore this movie. But yeah, Jeff, who's your favorite character of the bugs? Or I guess of the non-James characters. You can pick one of the ants too.
Oh, I was about to say, am I allowed to say it's a tie for both the ants?
Oh, absolutely.
That's I like those two ants. I love a good like wicked stepmother. Like I just love it. Mm-hmm. And they play them so well. And that's the thing that I like about Roald Dahl is that his villains, like he doesn't shy away from having like true villains, like nasty, horrible, mean people, you know, to be his villains. And I feel like a lot of times, like theater for young audiences or children's books or children's media in general, they shy away from anything that dark. Mm-hmm. They don't kill people. Roald Dahl was like, they die. Orphans. James is his, like in the book, it's not a magical rhinoceros, right? Like it's a rhino that escapes the zoo and eats his parents. Like, yeah, gruesome, brutal murder of his parents in front of his face. I don't know. I can't remember if it was actually in front of his face, but
I think it's in front of his face. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the other rhino, like tied him up and like put toothpicks in his eyes and made him watch his parents. It was like Clockwork Orange.
I was gonna say it's a Clockwork Peach.
It's like Clockwork Orange, except it was rhinos. Yeah, they like singing in the rain, and he's like shoving toothpicks, actual toothpicks.
The crossover I didn't know I needed, but I really wanted.
I feel like Roald Dahl would have loved that, though. He would have been all about
Peach.
that.
You're right.
Clockwork Peach, 100%.
You nailed it, Jeanette. You nailed it, Jeanette.
I want it.
I think that's such a good point because, like, I just think not the joy, but yeah, the appeal to so many Roald Dahl stories is the darkness and the horribleness of the villains, and I think the adaptations only work when they really lean into that. Like we said with Matilda a few weeks ago, I think that movie works just because it was directed by Danny DeVito, and he found such a solid balance between the hope, but also how awful all of the adults are in that film. And I like on this rewatch, kind of to repeat what Jeff said, I loved the ants because I think aside from them being perfectly cast, the way that it was directed, like their aesthetic, their look, everything about how heightened the performances were, like to me that was just perfect Roald Dahl villains. It was fantastic. Yeah. Love it. Alex, favorite character?
Just the worm.
The worm
as well. He's just funny. And I mean, Centipede's great too, and the dynamic with the centipede and the spider, that's also a standout, a notable mention. But yeah, Worm's top notch.
Worm is top notch. Yeah. And Spider is just like, she's beautiful, she's lovely, she's classy, like nothing not to love.
Yeah.
Mary, who's your favorite bug? Oh yeah, Jeff.
I was gonna say I had a crush on Spider when I was. I would have been like, I was just coming out of university when I saw this, so I would have been like in my early 40s, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it took me a long time to finish university.
It's 40 years ago, and you were in your early 40s. You look great for 80.
Cartoons don't age.
I'm a cartoon. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Spider's so cool.
You know who Spider reminds me of? And I had, as much as you can, an animated character crush on it. It reminds me of Jane from Daria. So that's I feel like that whole like black short hair French thing, artsy thing kind of reminded me.
Oh, I think I know who that is now. I can see it. I can see it.
Nice. You didn't watch Daria?
Nah. I have this thing, animation that's not Disney scares me. I don't know. Yeah.
Clockwork Orange.
Should I be offended? Like I feel like
oh no, Jeff, you're in the Disney,
my god, and your
Disney
name
realm.
is Alex. No, I'm just sorry.
Oh
so random.
Oh my gosh. Mary, favorite character?
I think Grasshopper is my favorite. I don't really know why though. I just think he's so smart and like dapper. I just really like him a lot. Yeah, I feel like he could answer any question that I had. He could just be really a helpful resource. He's a cool dude.
He is. And he's just so classy. And there's something so thrilling to me and beautiful about having a grasshopper be a string musician.
Yeah, right?
Since, they make the sound and then so lovely.
That scene's so beautiful. When I was rewatching it this time, I remember seeing that as a kid. And that was like a little bite of world building where he's like, you know how crickets make this noise? And I'm like, oh my God. I remember as a kid being like blown away. I was like, yes, yes. It was so great. I love that scene.
It's so good. I love this movie.
You know who Grasshopper reminds me of? Did you ever watch why am I blanking on the name? A Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Yeah.
No,
He reminds
that
me
sounds
of-
delightful.
He reminds me of Mr. Harriman, the bunny.
Yep.
He's just this British
Right.
bunny that just knows everything and is just sort of the butler of the house. He runs the house. It's a really great show. Foster's Home
watch
for
that.
Imaginary Friends. Yeah.
Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I will add that to my watch list if I can find it. If it's streaming, who knows? I love talking animals. Any movie that has talking animals or talking creatures warms my soul. But I think the other thing that I adore about this film is just how well they've built the ensemble. Like that's ingrained in the source material, but I think they did such an amazing job just with the character design for all the insects individually, but then they're just all such distinct characters that you instantly know who they are and what their dynamic is with like very little screen time. And I just think that's such a difficult thing to pull off as effectively as they did. Because like I think of characters like Ladybug, who probably has the least screen time out of all of them, but at the same time, like I know who that bug is, and I love her. It's so well done. But let's talk about James, because the through line for pretty well every Roald Dahl movie, except for Fantastic Mr. Fox, is just having a kid grounding the entire story. And I found that across the board, like I said last week, Roald Dahl films tend to have a good track record, I feel, for finding the right kid to carry the movie. But how do we feel about James and that specific actor in this role, in this film? He's kind of doing double duty as a live action character alongside doing voice work, which is something that we saw with the kids and the witches. And I think the consensus with the witches kids was that generally we felt their performances got better when they were mice versus when they were human children. But yeah, well, Alex looks like he's animated and in agreement. What do you think, Alex? You can start us off. How did James do?
Yeah, I exactly what you were saying. I was going to echo my thoughts, which I believe I voiced in the witches discussion, which is that, yeah, I thought both in the witches and in this case, James and the Giant Peach, I thought that James's performance really went way up when he became, stop motion animated. Or I'm not sure if this is actually technically stop motion, but that's kind of this reminds me of. So when he became that form, I thought his vocal performance and acting, it just it did it for me. But pre Big Head James, I'm not much of a fan, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. I don't. There's not like basically if I had to point to one thing, it's just there was. I guess it's that there aren't any like differences or levels or variations. Like James, to me, he's pretty much one note. Especially once we see him with his ants, like he has like 10 sec. Oh, I like Jeff's expression.
I was gonna say, I think Big Head is a slur against cartoon
animated characters.
Yes.
Oh no, I didn't mean that in a derogatory way. I meant that in a as a matter of fact. He just has a big head when he becomes stop motion animated.
You're making it worse, man. You're making it so much worse.
Just that. But yeah, just to sum up, I found that James as a human, he just was constantly like, oh, I'm sad and I don't want to eat the fish heads, but I'm gonna eat these chips instead and very, very far away. It was one note for me.
You should try out for Oliver Twist.
Animated, he then
I'm gonna argue that he had a very lovely arc both through live action James and animated James. I think the thing is that James as a character finds more comfort and confidence in his animated form by merit of the people that he's with and by merit of leaving his aunts. So I think he does a really nice, subtle, understated job that still feels to me to be like alive and active, but very realistically a kid who's in a horrible, abusive household. And then when he gets to New York and he's a human again, like I think he's maintaining that great energy that we have through like vocal performance, James, when he's giving his speech about New York City being like the city of dreams. Like I think the strength of his performance when he's just vocal James carries over in like second half of the film, human James, would be my argument.
Yeah, and I definitely, I would agree that at the end of the film, when James becomes, human James again in New York City, I would say that James is like, obviously he's showing, when he's all assertive and yelling and stuff, he's showing, expressing himself in ways that he wasn't, and it wouldn't make sense for him to express himself in those ways at the beginning of the film. And it's just, I would say, and I'm totally, your opinion and your take is valid, but yeah, for me, that first little bit of human James, I would say, like, it's granted his life is supposed to be miserable, so I'm not criticizing that, like, why is he miserable all the time? But in my like experience or whatever, my take for movies especially, and that kind of like fictional content, I find one of the great things about child characters is that they have this ability that adults tend to lack, which is to take something, or well, we'll see where I go with this, but to take something that's like kind of very small and objectively insignificant, or maybe not obviously significant, and to make like a world out of it. So I'd imagine a character like James, even though he's kind of constantly berated and mistreated by his aunts, that he would like, and in the movie it shows this, right? He has his hidden treasures under the floorboards, and he has his favorite candle stick from his birthday cake, and all of these things that would be very meaningful, especially in that horrible situation where any solace, any break you can get from the misery, would really kind of would be this huge source of whatever fantasy and magic and all that stuff. And I thought all these elements of the movie really made those things effective: the cinematography, the music, the atmosphere. But the acting from the kid, in my opinion, didn't support that. The acting was very one note for me. And even in those moments where he's singing and he's looking at, he's trying to save the spider, and like, they're great moments, but not because of the kid, in my opinion. The kid left something to be like. And then again, I wasn't suffering for it. I just didn't care about the kid.
Sounds like you were suffering.
I want to hear Jeff's take.
Okay, I have a question for Alex. Have you seen the Muppets Christmas Carol?
Oh no.
No. Hey, this has been brought up before.
I haven't seen it. No,
Alex has not seen this masterpiece.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, it's just in there. There was a live discussion that Matt and I had recently. It was the Disney presentation thing. Anyway, it came up that I hadn't seen Christmas Carol, and it's on the list. But
did that come up? We talked about so much that night.
Yeah, that did come. But yeah,
I'd be curious to know what you thought of that actor's performance.
Wait,
because
Muppet Treasure Island or Muppet Christmas Carol?
Muppet Christmas. Oh, sorry, you're right. Muppet Treasure Island.
Okay.
Muppet Treasure
I have
Island.
seen Treasure Island, I believe. Is that
Muppet
the
Treasure
one
Island? So sorry.
That they go to like they're on a.
Yeah, Tim Curry's on it. They're on a boat.
Tim Curry's Long John Silver.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe I didn't see that one. It's been so long since I've seen a Muppet movie. To me it's the polar opposite of the young man who plays James in James and the Giant Peach, because it's a very polished performance. His voice is well trained, and it sounds like it's well trained, as opposed to James, who's like a bit rough around the edges, and he's a bit pitchy, but in like, to me, in a really charming way. Like, it sounds like a kid singing, which is what I like. Like, I feel the opposite. I really like James in this. And to me, he's like the benchmark for like child actors in movies. But I mean, like, I don't know. I also thought Aileen Quinn in Annie was really good, and only to grow up and find out that she won a Razzie that year. Are you aware of this? That
they gave a Razzie to a child?
This organization of adults gave a Razzie to a child actor. It was like, worst performance, smack it. Like, what? Why would you say that about this poor kid? Ruined her career. But I mean, like, ruined. I'm sure she's fine. But, like, I hope she's fine. But, like, she was great. I thought she was so great in Annie. That moment in the alley where she, like gets in a tussle with those boys, and she's, like, puts up her fists like this. Like, it's so charming. Like, she's so great. And anyway, I thought Annie was great. I think James is great. I think James is great in this. I like his rough around the edges voice. I like that he feels like not a good actor, like, quote unquote, like he doesn't feel trained. Like, I don't like watching a kid who's like overly polished. If you're going to be overly polished, you got to be so polished that we're back to feeling natural again. Does that make sense?
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the difference between like original Degrassi for our Canadian watchers,
Yeah.
original Degrassi versus like Degrassi the Next Generation. It's like original Degrassi was like those were kids saying lines, and then like Degrassi later on, it was like, oh, those are child actors. You know what I mean? Which is like there's a place for both. Like I'm not criticizing either, but I like to see like kids being kids.
Where would you rank the other Roald Dahl kids like Matilda or the Willy Wonka kids?
Matilda was a bit different. Like she was certainly an actor, but she was the one. She's a great example of somebody that was so like she's such a good actor. She's so polished.
Yeah, it was
that
like
she comes around the other side. Like
she might arguably be the best child actor. Her and Macaulay of the '90s, right?
Yeah.
I mean, geez,
100%.
Yeah.
And the movies and to I think Alex's point, the movie supported it. Like the movie came off that way. Like she fit, like everything fit. Like it was, yeah. And yeah, she's incredible, and she's still incredible. You follow her on Twitter. She's hilarious and smart, and like, yeah, she's a dream.
We love Mara Wilson.
Yeah,
an icon. Mary,
Icon.
Jeanette, any thoughts on James?
Mary, you want to go first? I'm thinking you have positive things to say.
I really liked him. I liked him a lot. I like that he's just like a normal little British kid, and he's like so cute. I wanted my voice to sound just like him because he was so British. I'm just like, you're freaking adorable, and I don't know. He was heartbreaking in like the best possible ways. Like when he got all dressed up because he wanted to go play with the kids and stuff.
Yes.
Like he legit broke my heart.
I wanted
in
to
just,
play
like,
with
the
the
most
other
subtle
children.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Spiker and Sponge lines. You can play with their trash.
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, but no, I loved him.
So I am in Alex's wheelhouse more. I think this kid, I never really thought about it as an adult. Like I just hadn't thought about it while I was watching it. I kind of watched it in passing. This was my first time as an adult really sitting down and like watching it for critical reasons, right? Like actually paying attention to how it's shot and all that. And we all know from past episodes on various movies that I do not like when a child solo sings Out Into the Night. I think it usually sounds awful. I think it sounds so whiny and so miserable. I'm like, God, just put them out of their misery. Jesus, it's so, I can't. In Hook, the girl singing off the, I'm like, I can't.
Oh, I love her.
Stop. I can't.
I hate that whole movie.
Yeah,
Jeanette,
jaunty sea shanty about eating peaches. I don't want the sad kids singing out of their window. I just can't take it. I barely like the Feifel song, and that's the one everybody loves. But like, when they're singing out the window,
somewhere out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can take that on the radio, but like actually watching it in the movie, I'm like, oh my God, shut up.
Wow.
So, I can't take the whiny kids. And I don't think that the kid is a good enough actor to forgive the whininess of the song.
You're making Jeff make the face again.
Yeah, when he is in cartoon world, he's fantastic because he's a great voice actor. That's what I think. This kid's a great voice actor.
Right.
Oh,
Fair enough.
I still like human James.
I like him.
Yeah.
But I also like, but I think I think that we're touching upon something here that it sounds as though, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeanette just doesn't like children.
That could be it. You know.
That's fair. You don't like children.
Legit. Yeah. I don't think Roald Dahl did either.
I was going to say, I mean, he puts children in every sort of danger.
Don't say that. Yeah. He dedicated this book to his daughter who died shortly after it was published.
That's sad. I feel like that was the case with last week's book too.
Yeah, his son.
With the BFG, yeah.
You know, trauma incites creativity, so
yikes.
There's that.
There it is. All right. So let's.
And on that note,
let's talk about happy things. Fun question here from Bob. Those on the panel who've been to New York, is it truly as magical as they make it sound in TV and movies? Well, let's focus on how it's depicted in this movie specifically. So out of everyone here, who has been to New York? Show of hands. Everyone but Jeanette. Okay. So how do we feel about how New York is depicted in this film versus what it's actually like? Mary looks like she has thoughts.
We don't even really see that much of New York aside from like the pamphlet, which
I think the idea, the mystique of New
I
York
think-
is part of this movie.
I think the thing I think the big thing is that like we're dealing with a post 9/11 New York now, right? So like
Right.
I hate that everybody just took what I said seriously. Everybody went I was for sure making a joke.
So
I'm
is
not
it a joke? Okay.
I'm not gonna
is from
claim.
Before
Yeah.
then, so I mean, there
So
was
it's an
still
optimistic-
that
Right.
starry-eyed, yeah.
Yeah, and now New York
That's a
is
valid point.
now New York has had its twin towers eaten by a rhinoceros. So like
Yeah.
I shouldn't be joking about this. This is terrible.
I'm
Somebody
offended as an American.
You said somebody.
Why hasn't somebody stopped me yet? Please stop me.
Mute this one.
Just keep digging, Jeff. Just keep digging.
I don't even know what that's a reference
That-
to. But it's,
Because nobody talks about
Is that Bruno?
nobody
Yes,
talks
it's
about this.
Bruno.
Yeah, nobody
That's
talks about
That's
Bruno.
his most famous
Oh.
role.
We don't talk about that. No, good, he's
Yeah.
back. Oh gosh. Well, I mean, not kind of jumping off of Jeff's point. I think that this movie, less so about us being in like a new millennium era of New York. I think this is very much a depiction of like early 20th century New York, where it was more coming off the cusps of being like the place of dreams. Like I think of Ragtime, that musical, and everything that New York represents to people in Ragtime, about how people are coming from all over the world, and like, you know, all those icons, like, well, would have been Statue of Liberty probably in Ragtime era, but when this was being written, like Empire State Building, just all these things that represent not just New York, but like the promise of America, flawed as it may be in reality, as a promise. I think there's a lot of optimism there, and for the time period that this story is set in, I just think that this movie is giving us that idealized city of just like, it's the land of possibilities, and there it is. Like in my experience, New York's not that type of magical. The times that I've been there, I think it's a different type of magical. I think like my favorite way to equate my experience of New York is the Diana Ross movie The Wiz. Like New York as the land of Oz. Like to me, that's what New York is, where it's just this gritty but magical labyrinth of different communities and like different cool magical things that could just happen when you like turn a corner, and then
Yeah.
there's a scary person on the subway who's gonna turn into a balloon and eat you. Like to me, that's the magic of New York City.
What are you eating in New York? Has everybody who's been to New York been to Marie's Crisis? That's
No.
pretty magical.
What is it?
Marie's Crisis? Oh, it's a piano bar where everybody sings musical theater. Like the whole point is you walk in, you grab a drink, and there's a pianist playing, and they just play musical theater songs all night, and everybody sings along.
I love
Like
that.
the
That sounds like
entire bar, like not just like, oh, there are some people singing. It's like no. The entire bar, I'd say conservatively 90% of the bar is singing along.
Huh.
Yeah.
Can you
Last-
request
I've just been
songs?
doing
Like,
New
can I
York
request
wrong.
eating the peach?
That's all.
You can. I don't know if he'll do Eating the Peach, but like somebody last time I was there, I walked in and they were in the midst of doing like pretty much everything from Wicked, and then somebody asked for Little Shop of Horrors, and he just did a bunch of Little Shop of Horrors. He did some Hamilton. He did it's a great time. Marie's Crisis. Message me if you're going to New York. I'll send you the link or whatever.
I want to go to New York now. I want to go to. Well, I already wanted to go. I want to see Into the Woods. I still have like 2 months, but
I have a friend who's going. In a couple of weeks. Yeah, she was
For
like,
Into
"You want
the
to go?"
Woods?
And I'm like, "I can't." Yeah, specifically to go see Into the Woods. She's gonna go see
Good.
Into the Woods and come back. Yeah.
oh my gosh, she's living the Matt dream. I've done that. I once went to New York. This has nothing to do with James and the Giant Peach, but it's one of my favorite stories about one of the biggest mistakes I've made in my life. I once went to New York City when they were doing Into the Woods in Central Park at the Public Theater, and I like made a sizable donation to the Public Theater to like buy a ticket, which was more money than I could afford, but I did it because I love Into the Woods. And I was like, well, while I'm there, I might as well try to see it twice. And so my genius plan was to see it one night for the ticket I paid for, then to do the thing that apparently the theater community does does, where you just sleep outside Central Park to get your tickets. But it was just me and a bunch of like people that don't care about theater who were just trying to sell tickets the next morning. Basically, I was homeless in New York for 48 hours, and it was a terrible choice.
Oh, no.
It was a terrible life choice.
Wow.
I just wanted to go inside so badly that I went to the AMC on 42nd Street and went to the latest movie they had so I could be in an enclosed environment until like 3 a.m. And that movie was Ted. So I went to go see Ted, the Talking Teddy Bear movie. And that's
Ted,
my
wait,
story.
was it the first one or the
It
second
was
one?
it was the first one. It was the
Oh, so not even the good one.
Wait, what? Is the second one better?
Way better.
Really?
No, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I didn't watch it after the first one. I was like,
Isn't Ted one of your people from the animation world?
No, we've never met. Like we dated the same person, but like we not at the same time, and
Right.
like we just never actually crossed paths.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fun. Well, speaking of animation, this movie, I think one of the strengths is that it is stop motion, and I adore that. How do we feel stop motion contributes to this movie specifically? Because I was watching it thinking, were this to be made now, and this is very topical because, again, according to Wikipedia, it sounds like a remake is in the works, and it might happen sometime soon-ish. So I don't think there's going to be a stop motion remake. It would probably be the type of CGI that we see in everything now, and I notoriously and famously hate almost all CGI. How do you think this would work in a CGI world versus what we got in a stop motion world? Let's ask Jeff.
That's a bit more offensive than my big head comment, I think.
Yeah, can we just
Yeah.
rewind and where you said you just hate all CGI? Like, should I leave? Like, what is?
No,
It's like-
Jeff. I like your CGI.
No, that's not good. What you're saying is not good. It's one of those I don't like CGI, but like my best friend's
You're
CGI.
okay.
Like,
But I still don't like it.
Jeff, did you see Pinocchio?
no.
There you go.
No, because I auditioned for a role in Pinocchio and I didn't get it. And
See,
I
if
just
you
have-
were in it, then I could have done Pinocchio. That would have been fun.
You shouldn't do Pinocchio. He's a child. He's a wooden child. What is wrong with you? You hate CGI. You want to...
know.
I can't.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. I need to reassess my values.
You really do.
Quite clearly,
Take some
quite
time.
clearly, but-
Yeah, you really
It
think
takes some
about
time.
what you've done
Over.
here.
I know. I know. I am ashamed.
I'm going to hang out on this peach.
No, Jeff, come back.
No, I'm just going to stay over here for a bit.
Okay. Oh no, Jeff.
I can hear you.
Okay. So
You got earphones
I
on.
guess to rephrase, what do we think CGI would add to the world of James and the Giant Peach? Since we love it so.
So I think if they did this in the style of what they're doing with the Disney live action, which might be, I mean, like it's 75% animation, right? Even the backgrounds and stuff. So I feel like if you did it that style, it could be kind of cool. But what I think how it would really fit, you notice at the end how everything had that like extra soft, like bright, shiny light when it was in live action.
Mm-hmm.
Even at the beginning too, everything had that overly bright and it made everything look real soft. If you did everything like that, or like the scenes where they were in front of the water where like it was obviously a background, but at the same time it looked really nice, like it looked artistic. It was that very mid-90s look of like ultra bright background and then something realistic in front of it. I like that aesthetic, so I think that could look really nice if you just carried that through something.
Well said. Mary, what do you think?
I don't want it that way. I want it to just stay the way that it is. I don't know. The stop motion is just so like timeless. Like it stays looking so crisp and so clean, and I don't know. Just don't ruin it with computers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I'm with you. I think there's a time and place for everything, and I think like a little bit of CGI in background, like in the background of things, is fine, or to like, embellish or emphasize something. But for the most part, I think that stop motion is beautiful, and I think you should just like stop motion can be stop motion and CGI can be CGI, and you can blend the two, and that's nice too. But I think that I think that the way it is perfect. I think it's just kind of perfect. You know, unlike Pinocchio, where like I don't know that I personally would have cast Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, I loved him. Unless, was that your role?
Yes, actually.
Oh,
thanks
never mind.
No, forget it. It's too late.
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
gonna go back on this peach.
No. See, I would have cast you as Gideon the cat.
That's just rude.
Oh, okay. I love cats.
Yeah, I think you're supposed to give those roles to actors who are actual animated cats.
Actually, cats. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
Then
Joseph
if not,
Gordon-
you end up with Cats, the CGI movie.
Which
that
was
you got.
great.
Jeff's
My
not
best
a
friend was in
cricket.
that.
Jeff's not a cricket.
You don't know me.
That's true. But I think Jiminy Cricket's a good example of why I would prefer to keep this as stop motion, because CGI Jiminy Cricket looks too much like a real cricket, and I like the non-photorealism that you get with the stop motion insects in this, because insects in real life freak me out a lot.
Yeah.
So to picture this story with photorealistic insects would make me personally very uncomfortable.
That'd be wild.
So
I
does
hope
that
they
mean
do it.
you're gonna like the Guillermo del Toro one better then, because the cricket is stop motion?
Yeah, I knew I was going to like the Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio better than the Disney Pinocchio one, and I saw both trailers side by side, and I was right. But my thoughts on the new Pinocchio, it's a whole other conversation about why CGI artists should be treated better and given more time and more money. So,
I just want to say that I'm pretty sure that they have done stop motion via CGI, which is to say that they've, just generated like stop motion, like aesthetic via computer, generated images. So
Yes.
that's, I think, potentially a solution to the whole like CGI versus stop motion kind of question.
Yeah.
Now, but I also have I'm not like a, I don't know anything, I have no expertise in that realm. So like, I have no idea if it's like how much more expensive it is to do one or the other or anything like that. And or just like stop motion CGI in general versus like quote unquote realistic CGI. So I'd imagine it's cheaper than like photorealistic CGI, but I don't know in terms of like generating that like stop motion effect in terms of like the frame rate of the like objects, as it were. Have stop motion, the movement, right, the smoothness of a stop motion character's movements tends to be a bit jittery compared to like a cartoon or traditional CGI. So but anyway.
Have you seen any of the Short Circuit season 2 on Disney Plus?
I have not.
oh.
There's a bunch. They're all shorts. There's a bunch in season 2. I want to say the beginning of season 2. There's like 3 or 4 in a row that are exactly what you're talking about, Alex. That they're like
cool.
they're CGI, but they're animated, but they're CGI, but they're
Stop-motion
meant to
style.
look like exactly. They're pretty good. I really enjoyed. They're short, so it's not a long commitment. If you only have like 6 minutes to watch a thing, then
This would not be
Girls.
themed after the Short Circuit 80s movie.
That's
No,
what
it's
my
not-
mind went to.
not Johnny Five is Alive. No, that's a movie they should remake. That would be great.
Does that have a robot in it? I feel like I've seen the VHS cover multiple times. Or
Yeah.
had
Mhm.
back
Yeah.
in the day. I miss
Yeah.
VHS. Good times. Well, let's move on to the game.
Woohoo.
Game.
Woo!
I'm ready.
Okay, so let me pull up the game. Hold on. So tonight's game is called Peach or Pest. So it's themed around peaches and insects. I am going to give you a name, and you have to tell me if it's a type of peach or a type of insect. If it's a type of peach, you show me the word peach. If it's a type of insect, hold up the word pest. You can get a bonus point if it's an insect and you tell me what type of insect it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So if the answer is peach, then and you say peach, you get 1 point. If the answer is pest and you hold up pest, you get 1 point. If you say pest and you're specific about what kind of pest, if you're like, that's a type of glowworm or that's a type of spider, then you get 2 points.
But wait a minute, you're going to say things that are multiple types of peaches too, right?
Well, there's only one
do my
type.
best.
Like you can't specify types of peaches. The same
Oh.
way you can specify types of insects.
Yeah.
That seems
But
wrong. Okay.
there are millions of peaches.
Yeah.
Yes. No. So if you think it's a peach, just tell me it's a peach. If you think
Alright.
it's an insect, then just say pest. But
And
you can get extra points on the pest rounds if you specify
Matt,
the type of
but
pest.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. My audio cut out for a second. What are the two words we're writing?
Peach or pest?
Peach or pest. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Feel free to play along in the chat as well. Okay, here we go. So, peach or pest? Eastern bark. Peach or pest? Eastern bark. And
when do we hold it up?
I'll count you in.
Okay.
We hold it up in 3, 2, 1. Peach, 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 pest, pest. 2 of you got it right. It's a pest.
Aww.
I did it.
So, Mary, would you like to venture to guess what kind of pest it is? Jeff, you'll get this opportunity as well.
Okay.
Mark, I'm gonna say an ant.
Ant, okay. Jeff, you can repeat the answer too, Jeff, if you feel good
No,
about
it's
ant.
not an. I don't feel good about ant. I want to say it's like something that lives on a tree, like you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's something that lives on a tree.
I'll give you the point, Jeff.
Wait,
it's
we
a
should be-
centipede. It's a type of centipede.
But does it live on a tree?
I'm sure it does.
Gosh darn it, I'm right.
There you go.
Feels good.
Science.
Feels good.
Okay.
Science.
Jeanette and I should also be able to guess what type of bug it is.
No, you didn't earn that right because you didn't guess peach.
All right, that seems
You didn't guess
stacked.
pest.
It's like you not only win, but you win again. That's kind of
That's how it
How
goes.
society works.
Life's not
that's-
fair.
Yeah. That's what
Sometimes
happens
when
when
you
you.
escape from society.
Sometimes you lose
And
the
the-
magic.
the
Sometimes you stay a
unfairness.
mouse. That's what Jeanette
What happens
taught
if
us.
it's a peach pest? I'm just
No, we're not that specific. Okay,
Mind blown.
next, Ventura.
Oh yeah.
Ventura. 3, 2, 1. Peach, peach, peach. Oh, is this just a type of peach everybody has heard of?
Just sounds like a peach.
Oh, okay,
I think
yeah.
there's many fruits and vegetables with the name Ventura.
Oh, I just think of Ace Ventura. So there we go.
I think of Jesse Ventura,
Who's Jesse
80
Ventura?
80s wrestler turned governor turned conspiracy theorist.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's very famous in America.
Jesse
for him.
the Body Ventura. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next, Honey Babe.
A Yoda for Mark. Jesse was a pest.
Yeah.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
Love it. Honey Babe. Is a honey babe a peach or a pest?
You're being
3,
a pest when you
2,
call somebody that.
1. Peach, pest, peach. Alex, what'd you say? I can't see it. I still can't see it.
Pest. It says pest.
It's
Alex
a peach.
It's a Alex conveniently picked the thinnest tipped pen in his entire house just for this occasion.
It's a mechanical pencil. But
Yeah,
yeah.
see, I told you.
Well done. Well done.
No. Sorry, you said Honey Babe
Honey
Honey
Babe.
Babe.
is a pest. It's that pest that was on reality TV, that little girl.
No,
Yeah.
that was Honey Boo Boo.
Oh, who doesn't like children now? Jeez.
That wasn't a child. That wasn't a
Well,
child. That was
she's
an
not now.
that was an 800-year-old like dwarf. That was their it was a magical creature. Honey Boo Boo. Honey Boo Boo was a magical creature that got into reality TV. It's kind of like, the vampire Lestat became a rock star. It's a similar thing.
Do I know? Okay, that's a whole. That'll be.
It's a
my
similar-
month. I'm
it's a similar
picking that
thing.
month.
Jeff, I'm giving you a point for that, Jeff. There we go.
Oh.
For that insight. There we go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate
Fantastic.
it.
No, I
I'll take it.
appreciate that.
Wow.
Here we go. Next, Eastern Red. Eastern Red. 3,
Okay.
2, 1.
Oh,
It's a pest. There we go. So Jeanette and Alex, you both get to guess what kind of pest it is. We'll start with
Hey.
Jeanette.
I put pest.
And
Did you do pest? Oh, I thought I saw
No,
peach.
no,
Okay.
I was
No,
tricking.
he's
I was,
okay.
I was tricking.
Oh, you would have gotten the point. There we go.
Yeah.
Is
No,
it an
it's fine.
eastern red ant? This one's ant.
Ant, okay. Alex?
It's a spider.
No, it's a centipede.
Oh, what?
You already
Did
did
this only
centipedes.
pick
They're all
centipedes?
centipedes. That's the trick.
Maybe it's not.
Now we
Maybe it
know.
is. We'll find out together. Next, Babcock.
What did you
yes.
call me?
Bad
Oh,
luck.
wow.
Wow. 3, 2, 1. Peach, peach, peach. It's a peach.
Nice.
Why would you? I'm like, who would name a bug that? And this is the
Oh,
Babcock.
That seems like such a bug name to me. That's why I picked it.
Damn Babcocks everywhere.
Flying Babcock.
Okay. Next. Pink spotted. Pink spotted. 3, 2, 1. Pest, pest, pest. Oh, you all got pest, and you all got a point.
Ooh.
Okay, now you all get to
Figuring out.
guess what kind of pest it is. Jeff, we'll start with you.
Sorry, what was it called again?
Pink spotted.
I'm going to say it was a centipede.
Jeanette?
A moth.
Okay. Alex?
A ladybug.
Okay. Mary?
Ladybug too. I'll just go with that.
It's a ladybug.
Oh, now I see your game.
What?
Here.
Okay.
There it
See your
is.
game.
Okay, look, I made a thing real quick. What's the current score?
The current score is
Can I
Jeanette
join?
has 5, Alex has 5, Mary and Jeff are tied for 6.
Ooh, tied for 6.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to fix that.
Did you make a scoreboard?
I did. Look, but I have to enter 6.
Wait, hold on. How do
Wow.
I?
You are so tech savvy.
Oh no, I don't want to be the person in the news layout. How do I make it Jeff?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, I don't want this
I
layout.
think
don't
it's
like this layout.
rando. I think you just.
Oh,
There
there we
go.
go. That's better. There we
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Great.
Oh, I like this.
Widescreen.
Jeff, we need you at every. We need
I
you
was
at
gonna
every
say
game.
you're not going anywhere now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So does anyone else feel like the giant rotating peach looks like the sun behind Jeff?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, sure.
It's sunlight,
see that.
but it's not really.
Yeah, I keep
It's
thinking
not
Jeff is in
bright,
space with
but-
the sun. All right, next.
Well, there was that bit in the beginning of the movie when the peach was rolling down the hill, right? And the rooster thought it was the sun rising. Remember that? It's a good bit.
Yeah.
Is that what the rooster thought?
Yeah, because
Oh,
the
that's
rooster
hilarious.
saw it coming and it was
Came
like
up
rising,
over the hill. Yeah.
and then it started to crow and then smushed the
Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah,
that. That makes me love that
smushed
even
the rooster.
more.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's even better
Oh,
than.
I love that. Okay, next, tropic snow.
Hmm.
Tropic snow. 3, 2, 1. Past peach, peach. It's a peach.
Nice.
Everyone gets a point except for Alex. There we go.
Hold on.
Okay, next. Clear colored.
That's literally just the name. Clear
Yeah.
colored.
Clear colored.
Okay.
How can it have a color if it's clear?
Yeah, right? I know. 3, 2, 1. Past, past. It's a pest. So that's a
Ah.
point for Mary, Alex, Jeanette. Now the three of you get to guess what kind of pest it is. Alex.
It's a grasshopper.
Okay. Mary.
I'm gonna go with the centipede.
Okay. Jeanette.
Spider.
It's a centipede.
Ooh.
It's always a centipede.
Screw you and your centipedes.
That was a centipede.
Every
See, it would
other.
have been funny. It would have been funny if they were all centipedes, but they're not. They're just mostly centipedes.
I mean, how many types of freaking spiders are there in the world? You can...
There aren't that many spiders whose names could potentially be peaches. Surprisingly
Oh,
enough,
Oh yeah.
Come
That
now.
makes sense.
you would think that there would be, but there aren't. And there are no glowworms. Oh, I just gave away what an answer is not. There are no
There you go.
glowworms
You
that sound like
just
they could be
eliminated.
peaches.
No, he's tricking you. He's tricking you for sure. The next one's gonna be glowworm.
Shh, Jeff. Okay, next. Non-melting flesh.
Oh.
3,
Non-melting.
2.
Wait, no,
One.
what are you... Hold on. Bugs don't have flesh.
I'm thinking maybe
It's
they
a
don't melt your
peach.
flesh.
It's a peach.
What?
a
It's a
Peach's
bug that
flesh doesn't
doesn't-
It's a
melt
peach.
anyway.
Maybe that's
Weird.
what they're all secretly called. Maybe that's their genus,
That's
non-melting
like
flesh.
fat-free water. Like, what? I don't know.
Okay, and final. Funnel weaver.
Oh.
3, 2, 1. Pest, pest, pest. Oh yeah, you all got it. It's a pest. Now we get to guess what kind of pest it is. Start with Jeff.
Funnel weaver. It's a centipede.
Alex?
Yeah, sure, centipede.
Mary?
Yeah, centipede.
Jeanette? Spider?
Yes.
Well, one of you got it. It's a spider.
Yeah, because it's weaving.
Yeah, that's
There
a
you
good
go. So let
Tricky.
me make sure that my answers align with what, or my points align with what Jeff has. I think they do. Wait. I have Mary has 10.
Mary has 10.
Yes. Mary has 10, but otherwise we're in line. There we
It's
go.
a tiebreaker.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh no,
Mary.
it's okay.
I'm
It's
sorry,
okay,
Mary.
Jeff. It's okay. It's okay. All
There's
right.
a lot of buttons.
Now we move on to our bonus question. So Jeff, this is where you get to pick Jeopardy style. How many of your points you would like to wager for the bonus question?
Oh, okay. I will bet 9 points. Oh, I'll bet 8 points.
8 points. Okay.
For
Alex.
not a true daily double.
I'll do them all. All eight.
All 8.
Go
Okay.
all in.
Mary.
I'll do all 10.
10. Okay. Jeanette.
All in.
Okay. Here we go. So, if you get the answer right, you double your points, or in Jeff's case, you add 8 to your score. If you get it wrong, you lose your points that you have wagered. So, potentially, Jeff, you could win this by process of elimination.
That's the
And
plan.
the number, or the answer will be a number. So, whoever is closest without going over shall be the victor. And that's how it goes. Here we go.
Closest without going over. Okay,
Without going
so-
over. Yeah. What percent of a peach is water? What percent of a peach is made of water?
Ready.
Let me know when you have your answers. Okay, Jeff's ready.
Yeah.
Alex
I'm
is
ready.
ready. Okay, let's hear our answers one at a time. Mary, what did you write? I said 14. Okay. Alex? 70. Okay. Jeff?
Ah, now I can't. Jesus.
Jeanette? 70. Well, Alex and Jeanette, you both tied. The answer we were looking for was 89. So, Jeanette, you win with a score of 20.
Nice.
Wow.
Woo!
Did it. I did it.
Congratulations. That's it. You won the game. Yay!
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind. There it is. Yeah. Make it rain random papers.
I think the real prize here is that we all learned a little bit something more about types of centipedes.
Yes. This
Yes.
is the real goal.
At least their names.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right. Well, does anyone have any closing thoughts or things that you want to discuss about the movie that we have not touched upon yet?
It's
yeah, go ahead.
sorry. It's underappreciated. I wish more people. I wish it was one of those ones that people push more for their kids to watch. You know, like I wish it was one of those like ones that suggested more. So, I'll be suggesting it more.
Jeff, closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. Yeah, I think it is underrated. People really remember Nightmare Before Christmas so fondly, and people there is a big section of the world that's like loves The Corpse Bride, and I'm not taking anything away from either of those, but this kind of feels like it gets like lost. Like people don't talk about this as fondly as they talk about those two movies, and in the same token, they don't talk about this one as fondly as they talk about the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder, and they don't talk about it the way they talk about Matilda. So I feel like it slipped through, somehow managed to slip through two cracks, and I think it's great. I think it's super underappreciated.
Nicely said. Alex.
Well, one thing is that I thought it was interesting. Actually, during this discussion is when I had this thought, which is that specifically the ants not getting killed by the peach, out of the book versus the movie. And what was the other one? Oh yeah, the rhino. The way the ants talk about the rhino, they never did catch that rhino. So, based on our discussion, it seems to me like the movie kept or took lines straight from the book, and ignored the fact that the film was in a slightly different world. So when the rhino is this magical cloud monster, it doesn't really make sense for the ants to be talking about it the way they do, like people catching the rhino and, you know, stuff like that. And then similarly, the ants do say, as the peach is like, before the peach rolls over the car, they say it'll kill us. Like they say something to the effect of like, will be killed or something like that. Like they have a line saying, you know, something like they do have a line addressing that they will die if they don't like get the car started or something like that. So which to me makes sense. Like, oh yeah, if in the book they die, then that makes sense that they would have that like expression. And I'm not saying that's the only reason that they would say that. I'm just saying that's kind of the way. It's like an interesting sort of thought in my mind where there were things about the like those particular dialogue pieces in my mind. They kind of seem to be, yeah, ignoring the or they're not perfectly cohesive with the action of the film and the character of the film. That doesn't mean it's a bad like film, but there's just this little fun little thing that came in my mind.
No, I feel like to that point, I enjoyed that. Like I liked the ants saying they never caught the rhino, and that combined with Rhino Cloud Monster just to me made it seem like the movie was very much James's perspective of the world. So it's like you have the real life ants who are just drilling this traumatic experience into him and using it as a tactic to get him to do what they want. So that to me was just fueling him manifesting the rhino as like giant cloud monster. Because I do think this whole film is seen through the eyes of like a child as opposed to being a legit like very real life situation. Like Matilda, I think, is very grounded in real life, like it's heightened real life, but I don't think we're seeing that world through Matilda's eyes. Whereas I think this movie, we're seeing everything from James's perspective, which is why I liked the ants abusing his trauma, because I think it made their characters so much more interesting. And I think it just worked well with the classic Roald Dahl thing of like, here's a kid in a bad situation, let's use magic to show them that there's hope. And yeah, so I agree, but I like it for the reasons that it stood out to you.
Oh yeah, and I think it's hilarious. Like I think like even if the giant rhino is a real giant magical rhino, like the ants saying like they never did catch that rhino, it's hilarious and absurd. But yeah, it was just during this discussion that I actually had that thought, so it was just like a little fun thing.
Fun, indeed. Yeah. Mary, closing thoughts.
Mine is not nearly as deep or smart sounding, but I'm just curious why there were teapot clouds when they're like first starting to fly.
It was for me.
In the wrong direction. Well, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
She goes, well, okay.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Teapot.
This is the teapot for one.
Oh, before I forget, when they were on the pirate ship, did any of you notice?
Oh yeah, Jack.
He's Jack, but did you notice one of the skeletons is Donald Duck?
Yeah, I did.
There's a skeleton. His little hat is made of bone, and he's got a bill. Yeah. And I was like,
I feel like I remember that from my childhood.
Noticed that ever.
I love that.
And I was like, and I paused it. I made sure. I was like, oh my god, yeah, that's like a crazy weird duck skeleton, but it's a human, but like a human skeleton, but like with a duck head, and the hat is made of bone, and it's Donald's hat. So yeah,
he even quacked too.
That's
like
so
he
funny.
Made quacks in
yes,
really?
Yes.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
That's perfect because we're in the
cool
season of
like,
anatomically incorrect skeletons. So I'm all about that.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
That is hilarious. All right. Well, friends, with that, thank you for joining us one at a time. You know by now you're going to go full screen. Then tell all 11 people watching, let us know again who you are, what you do, and anything else fun that you'd like them to know about either you or your upcoming projects. Start with Mary.
Hi, I am Mary. My channel is Jolly Holiday with Mary. I do weekly vlogs with my adorable Boston Terriers, Albert and Edie. And we're currently doing tons and tons of like house DIYs, decorating for Halloween, making Mickey pumpkins, all of that fun stuff. So if you'd like to have some festive fun, come on over and check us out.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mary.
Hey, so you can find me at TinkerJ787 on Instagram. You can find me here on Teacup for One. You can find me on We Like Theme Parks on Tuesdays at 9. And in about 2 weeks' time, a little bit more than 2 weeks' time, I'll be going down to Orlando to go to my first Halloween Horror Night, so you can follow along and see that. And I'll be with my whole little Disney gal pal gang. So yeah, you should check us out and see some cool insight into a first timers Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh, I can't wait. Thank you, Jeanette. Alex, your turn.
Hi, I'm Alex Titai. I'm a musical theater performer and actor, and you can find me on Teacup for One sometimes, hanging out with Mr. Matt.
Accurate. Okay, thank you, Alex. Perfect. Jeff. Oh, wait, hold on. Where's Jeff? There's Jeff. Jeff,
Hi.
your turn.
Hi. Yes. Hi. I'm currently staying on my friend Mark's couch. He's very kind to let me stay on his couch while I'm not working on any current projects. Mark is you can find him at Mark M. Andrada on Instagram, and yeah, working on a bunch of projects that I'm not allowed to talk about. So he's working and I'm not.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you, Jeff. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having me. It's really nice to. Yeah, I'll tell him you say hi. He's I think he's in the next room, like making bacon or something. I can
Delicious.
Something smells like bacon.
Oh, awesome.
That might just be me. But, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. And yeah, if you're watching, this is my channel. Thank you for joining me. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees. This has been the Roald Dahl Movie Marathon. Join us next week, where we are going to be discussing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. We're going to be putting the Gene Wilder version up against the Johnny Depp version and seeing which one was better, even though we all know the answer. And that will segue us into our October movie marathon. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. You have to guess. It's kind of Halloween themed, but it's also kind of not. I'm very excited for it. Anyway, yeah, subscribe, please, and check out my Etsy shop, please. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Until next time, my name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and this has been the Tea Cup for One. How do I end this?